Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dink Tank podcast. My name's JJ.
And I'm Graham.
And this is episode 19.
Yeah, 19. So almost to 20.
Almost to 2-0. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. And I know we weren't always weekly. We started as bi-weekly.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it also feels like it's been forever. So
that's true.
It's like a little in the middle. That we started right after our tournament in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that feels like forever ago.
That's true. And the YOLO event was one of our, maybe the 5th podcast or something like that.
5th or 6th, which...
Yeah.
Which that doesn't feel like it was that long ago, honestly.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that was beginning of this year. So.
Yeah. So...
That's crazy. A lot of paddles coming out.
Yeah.
It won't stop. Have you been playing much?
I've been playing a lot of singles, which is interesting.
Why?
It's a great question.
We promised we weren't going to do this anymore. We promised
we weren't playing singles anymore. After Mesa, we were like, we're done with singles. We're tired.
Exactly.
I didn't get the bug for singles till now. So probably that's a solid 6 months of no singles at all. Like anytime someone asked me,
it should be.
I was like, no. So lots of drilling, lots of singles. There hasn't been, all the parks have been dead. It's 120.
Yes,
so
it's just too hot.
Too hot. So all the parks are dead and work's been crazy. So I didn't get a membership at any of the indoor places. So just games haven't been great. So resorting to singles and drilling. So playing a good amount of testing for all the paddles coming up. So
yeah. And there are so many.
Yeah. What about you? You were just in Austin. So
yeah. So I went down there for a work trip. And I reached out to a couple people that are based out of there and ended up playing and filming for Jack Monroe. The first day I got in, then I was busy with work. And then the next evening, I did an interview with Jack. So that will be released. It should be released by the time this podcast is out. So if this is out, check that out because I should have posted it the day before. But it was a great conversation. Really, we did a big deep dive into what it takes to be a pro, what separates people that make it, the financials behind it, as well as just his opinions on the growth of pickleball in the college space because he's just so integrated into it because he runs the UT Austin team. And then as well as just some APP versus PPA differences. But yeah, a lot of fun, good conversation. I tried to ask unique questions that I hadn't heard him answer before. But it was a blast. He's a super nice guy. And this is the second time I've played with him because I played with him a couple months back with another Jack and he's wicked good. The thing I didn't realize actually the first time, and I had heard this, but I just didn't make the connection, is he plays with both hands.
Yeah. No, he's crazy.
I didn't know why though until I started doing some research, and that was he had an injury to his right hand, so then he just started playing lefty, and then now he just naturally switches whenever he wants. But
yeah, he's crazy.
And ranked number 1 on that tour now too, especially with news of Sam Howell is leaving for the PPA, so he's gonna have to find a new doubles partner, which we also covered in the interview. But yeah, Austin was great. We played at Urban Pickleball, so shout out there. Absolutely gorgeous views. It's on top of a garage, like right in downtown Austin. It was so sick. I actually saw a couple other content creators that were just happened to be there. Showed up for open play after Jack and I were done filming. But yeah, Austin's just a great city. I'm sure we'll get down there sometime.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there. There's a lot of pros that live there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a cool place. So I'm excited to get down there. You went down there for the Adidas event.
Yeah,
last time, right?
That was hosted there as well, and that was the first time I had met Jack Monroe.
Yeah,
and we played at the kitchen. We played till like 2 a.m. It was crazy. We didn't get there till like 10:30.
Yeah, we got to time one up and go play with him and Zane.
Yeah, exactly, and
try to figure out how to nerf them so bad that we win.
Yeah. I don't think
trainer play with the spatula.
I would say trainer paddles won't be enough.
No, spatula.
We'll figure something out. But anyways, that's kind of what I've been up to. Outside of that, there has been some news, but I want to mostly cover paddles. But there's one thing we can't ignore, which was Ben Johns got traded.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Insane. I mean, it's great for MLP because he was kind of just withering away. On his former team.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool though, because he's on a crazy good team. He's got Catherine, Hunter Johnson, and Jade Kawamoto. So it should be a pretty good team. I know Zane made a big video saying that it's kind of the first super team of the MLP. So it'll crazy to see how that stacks up. I know they had their first matches right now this weekend. So we'll see how that goes and see if the chemistry is good. And they should make a good run come playoffs.
I hope they win because, I mean, as much as super teams aren't great for obviously the competitive landscape, it usually is good for media reasons of a lot of people like to jump on a bandwagon, see a team dominate, and the fact that you have the best player in the world on their team, that's going to be just easy TV, or hopefully TV. But
yeah, we'll see how they go up. I mean, I guess it's them, and then I mean Dallas is still just stacked. So yeah, he said first super team, but Dallas is, I mean,
yeah,
you can't really
it'll be
go wrong with the Johnsons, Augie, and Tyra.
Yeah.
And then Zane, it's one to talk with. But also Zane is on the bench now.
Yeah, I got benched. He had a great YouTube title for that of I got benched. And I was just like, he posted like immediately too. And I'm like, way to capitalize on the content side.
He's funny. So, but yeah, that's really the big news is just Ben Johns got traded and we'll see where that goes.
I wonder if, I know sports gambling has been a part, but if there are odds or aren't odds, I wonder what they shifted to, especially with all the news on that team.
Yeah.
With QD randomly, obviously parting ways because of losing his contract and then separating all ties to him and kind of screwing over his MLP team and then them making this trade. And it's like, oh, they're fine.
Yep. I think they'll be okay.
I would have loved to have seen the Vegas odds though on how that news week would have gone for that. But anyways.
Yeah. Jumping into it, we actually are starting with two paddles that no one's talked about. No one's seen them yet, but one we've had for a little bit now. So it's going to be a prototype of the Peacock from Proton, which is going to be their all foam core. Pretty much same specs as the Flamingo, but just different core. So it's all foam. I really like this paddle. It plays a lot like the best comparison is, I would say, the Flick paddle. In my opinion, I think it plays very similar to that. So it has more, like, we've talked about how foam is just kind of evolved. And it has like that feeling where you're like, oh, there's actually something there. Like paddles like the 008 and some of the other ones, it doesn't have that like muted nothing to it. It has kind of like the Flick or like the Honolulu paddles. It has a good feeling behind it. Like you're actually hitting the ball and making good contact with it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you kind of teased this as we've been playing with this for the last about 2 months now, I would say it's been. Haven't been able to talk about it, but we got permission that we could debut it this week. I know there's been a couple photos that have been teased online from some pros. I know CJ, I think it was the first one I saw to post something with it. I don't know if it was on his social, but he was using it in rec, and that was a couple weeks ago. And I've been getting a couple DMs, and I'm like, it's coming. But basically, yeah, same dimensions, same grit as the Flamingo, but for all solid foam core. It does not have any fiberglass layer, at least not on the prototype. Who knows? Like small things could change. I don't see that happening. But that's one thing I would compare a difference to the Flick. Because a lot of people have been saying there's been some inconsistencies off the face of that. That is definitely something I have noticed. But the power of that paddle, I think, kind of pros and cons of it, depending on what you want out of that paddle. This, I think, is going to be for anybody that loves the Flamingo, that wants something that, doesn't break. And I know a lot of people are out there that want that. This core does have cutouts. I won't say the design of it. I'll let that be for Charles to debut however he wants. But it definitely has more feedback. It has great spin. The biggest difference between the Flamingo's performance and this has so much more pop.
Yeah, it does. It's got some crazy pop on it. But what's your opinion on this or Flamingo right now with the prototype?
And that's the thing is, because I had the prototype for the Flamingo, and there were some small alterations made for final production. One obvious thing that Charles has said, which we'll see if it happens, but the colors are going to be a little bit brighter. That's obviously just cosmetic. But the other thing we haven't mentioned is the weighting. I'd be curious if that changes as well. But to answer your question, I think I lean just a little bit towards the Flamingo still. And the reason is just the pop is very crazy on this. But if you can handle the pop, everything about the Flamingo, it's here. and you don't have to worry about it breaking.
Yeah.
Because durability is not going to be an issue on this. So a paddle that's, the core is not going to corrupt, and one of the best lasting grit paddles on the market, that's going to do extremely well. And same thing as always with the grip, it's a little bit shorter than 5.5, but you can wrap it higher. I just know some people, have some issues with shorter handles. But the biggest thing with the feel of this paddle is it's a lot more head heavy than the original Flamingo, which could also be part of the reason why we're getting a little bit more pop. So those are going to be the small things I want to look out for whenever we get the final production, is just seeing how close this is to it. We were told that this is pretty much what they're going to be coming out with, but there will probably be some small tweaks and fine tuning.
Yeah, I agree. I lean a little more towards the Flamingo. It is cool though. I mean, full swings, the power is about the same. It's just more, like you said, that pop is definitely higher than Flamingo. But I'm really excited about this paddle. I know it'll sell super well, especially with everything you said. It won't corrupt. A lot of people had problems with their Flamingos. So anybody that used the Flamingo will definitely like this paddle.
And anyone that likes power, because that's really what it kind of comes down to, is this is a power paddle. It's not top of the line, but I'd say it's kind of like very comfortably in the middle ground of power paddles. But now you're adding more pop. So like at the kitchen, it's great on those volleys and those punches. The issue is on some of those drops and on dinks, occasionally you'll get some inconsistencies in the face where it'll jump up. That's very similar to the flick as well. I think the flick is worse than this is in that sense. But that is still something you have to deal with on this. But 90% of the time, like, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, it feels very familiar. And we've been using the Flamingo for so long. So, I mean, this is a very natural progression. I just do hope the head heaviness comes down just a tad bit, just because the swing weight did go up a little bit with that. But again, the swing weight did come down slightly between my prototype and the final production. So we'll see. But do you want to run through the numbers of what we have on this? Yeah,
the swing weight on this is going to be around 121, and then the twist weight was 6.6. So pretty high for an elongated, and yeah, it'll be really exciting to see how people feel about this paddle. And then, as always, Proton's always got some fun designs, so I know people will like that.
I'm sure there'll be an inverse.
There will also be people that don't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember when we first got the Flamingo, we were a little indifferent. I think we both agree the pink one looks a little bit better.
Yeah, it does.
But the blue is just a lot more subtle. So
that would be cool if there was a purple edge guard.
See,
green handle.
That's what I love. The only thing in my mind, though, is he said it's going to go a little bit brighter, and I really like the plum purple.
Yeah.
So I hope the purple stays the same and the green gets brighter, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't either.
We'll see, though. But no release date for this yet. We were just told we were allowed to debut it. So the Peacock does exist. It's in development. It'll be coming out. I'm assuming, and I do not have confirmation on this, I'm assuming it'll be at that $280 price point as always. I'm assuming it'll have their, like a lifetime warranty, I think they have, or at least 1 year. I'm pretty sure Proton has pretty much
they said lifetime
on pretty much.
That's what Charles said.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just glad we can finally show this, because this has been in my bag for so long, and I've had a lot of people asking me about it. But yeah, all in all, very excited about this. Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because I want the final production before I give all of you guys, my full thoughts on this paddle. But at the end of the day, it's a altered Flamingo. It's still in that Series 3 line. The twist weight's great, because I think even though it has a shorter handle, it has that little bit wider throat, which helps it. So that helps improve the sweet spot. I haven't added weight on this one like I did on the Flamingo, which I've kind of felt a little bit interesting about. But anyways, you'll be seeing us talk about this a lot more. But yeah, that's the Peacock.
Yeah, we got that other one we were teasing.
Yeah.
So Unseen, they did post a photo about this last night from the day when we're filming. So
the day we filmed this,
the day we filmed this, it was debuted, and it's the Fury from Thrive. So
I didn't have next episode. I was gonna say I've also had a true prototype of this that didn't have any graphics. I had a slight alteration to this one. But this is another one I've been able to play test for a while, and I have a lot of hours on. So I'm really excited to see kind of just how the final product kind of what we're talking about with the Peacock, how the beta to the final production turns out. But what's first impression? Because I think there's one thing of when I posted it, I got a bunch of messages about, and you said the same thing.
The design's a lot better than the Smoke was, for sure.
I would argue this is one of the better looking paddles in general on the market also.
For sure. I love the way the edgeguard, we don't see a lot of 2-color edgeguards.
Not in this way. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see a lot of a lot of people copied the Yola where it's like the top and it like fades down.
And it's that gradient.
But the way it goes all the way around or like switches.
Yeah.
Is really cool. And I know we've talked to Scott and he's said that it's white under the whole thing. So if you do end up scratching any of the black, at least it will be the same color. Because I know with like the Franklins, there's like yellow under them.
It's yellow or white underneath a lot of edge guards. So yeah, so usually you scratch the top. So if you scratch it, it's going to at least stay the same color, even though you'll have blemishes. Which was, just one of those extra things you think about, which I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. Because most people put black on the top and fade to white. They went kind of with the Surge design in terms of having the T off to the side. And yeah, this definitely doesn't look like a prototype graphics like the Smoke did. Yeah. Because they wanted to rush that out, and I was told that's kind of what ended up happening on that one. But yeah, I'm super stoked with this. They also will have a pink variant of this, which looks just as good. But this is a power paddle. So this is kind of a successor to the Azul and the Blackout. It has a carbon fiber, fiberglass, carbon fiber layup. And the unique thing about this, which they are coining as Gen 3.5, we're getting with the new foam paddle from Enhanced Pickleball with Gen 4.5, we're getting a little bit too, I think, over the top with classifying things. But what they mean by that is he actually has internal weighting attached to the core. So there's 3 grams on each side of the throat that's already there for you, which the sweet spot on this thing feels great. Yeah. And a big part of it is because of that internal weighting. And actually, if you want to jump into the specs real quick on this.
Yeah, so it comes in pretty light. It's got a 112 swing weight. I think it was like 111.8 to be exact. And then twist weight was 6.47. So good twist weight, low swing weight. So you can add more weight pretty easily. And this thing, it smacks. Like it hits hard.
Yeah. Fun fact on that, they got the PB core test results because that's what was holding this up. Hit 0.43 on the dot.
There you go.
And we have the paper, like he sent the paper over to verify that. 0.43 on the dot.
So this is the most powerful paddle on the market.
I don't know if it hits the hardest, but based off the test,
this is the hardest hitting PB core test paddle on the market.
That will be passed next year. Because we've got the laser from Grooven, which is 0.44.
That's true. That's true.
But in terms of paddles, that will be around, yes, this will be, you'll be able to use this past 2026.
But also I hear the Lux is pretty high on the PB core test too.
Yeah, according to the Q, what does he call that again?
The Q core.
Q core test, yeah.
Q core test says that the Lux hits really hard.
Yeah, in John's basement. But just want to make sure we highlighted that because a lot of these paddles are, everyone has the 0.43 stamp, but it's like, what are these actually coming in at? So it was kind of cool to hear that because I know the Smoke, I think, was 0.42. So if you didn't think the Smoke hit as hard as advertised, on my radar test, like I said, it hit just like a paddle tech. But the unique thing about this, at least with the prototype from what I have been testing, is it softens up a little bit and it gets a lot louder. And that's not the core breaking. It just gets louder. I'm going to probably interview Scott for my review. I'll have that at the end. So I'll have him go a little bit more into the construction and breakdown of this paddle and kind of what his thought process, because he went through a lot of prototypes before ending up on this one. But yeah, it's definitely something I am very excited. There's a lot of hybrids with the new NF, this, the Vapor from the Alpha Pro Power. So a lot of hybrids that I've been very excited to kind of be testing because, as you know, we typically lean elongated, but I do have a special place of I love hybrids.
I know you may be moving back to hybrids for a little while.
When I find hybrids I like, I love using hybrids.
I mean, this is what happened same time last year.
Yeah.
This is when you were using Double Black Diamond into the Ruby, into the Azul.
Yeah.
And that was all around this time.
Beginning of last year. Yeah, it was beginning because
I think it was after the original Yolas, right?
You're right. I forgot about the tournament in Vegas because that was the last event I had used. I did use the Azul and that with Anthony. And yeah, that was a ton of fun. Where I was more thinking was my first tournament I had played in, which was on the other end of town in Arizona, also with Anthony. I used the Ruby and I was using the double black diamond, but that was at the beginning of the year. And then I had transitioned to the Azul because I think Thrive had an event, which I just attended when I wasn't even reviewing stuff. And that was like a thing in April of last year. So that's what in my mind I was thinking. I'm like, I stopped using the Ruby around April.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we're in July. So I'm like, I definitely wasn't using that last year. But yeah, you're right. I had a big kick of hybrids to start the first half of the year. And then, yeah, and that's, I guess, after the Magnus because I was using that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to play with the different shapes and, see actually testing what you like best. But this is definitely one I've been loving. The prototype has a great feel, has great power. So it's just another one of this month of paddle releases has just been absolutely crazy. This is up for pre-order right now. It will be releasing, I think, the first week of next month, or maybe it's like around the 10th or 11th. I'll put the correct date up on screen, but it is up for pre-order now. You can use my code JJPB if you'd like, or at least use somebody's code to save some money. Because I know there's a lot of big Thrive fans out there, which I love.
No, there is.
But yeah, 2 paddles will get a debut, which is kind of cool. And I'm really happy because we've been playing with them for a while. We just weren't allowed to talk about them.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Next up is a paddle that was in the news a little bit ago, and we've been waiting for it to arrive.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for it to arrive in the US before they sent it to us.
A little company out of Vietnam that started kind of the whole QD situation. But this is the new Sypik paddle.
Yeah. So it's the Triton Pro Ultimate. And this is actually not the paddle that QD is going to be using. They're making an all foam paddle that we don't have yet. Also, same thing, waiting for it to get to the US. They have a couple distributors here. They're a big company in Vietnam, and they're trying to kind of break into the US market. We talked about that last week with the PPA and QD. It's like, was that a big reason of the contract and all that? But got this paddle last week, and we've gotten to play it a little bit.
This one's all you.
Yeah,
I've only bounced a ball and hit it against the Dink Master. I haven't played any games with it, but I'm relying heavily on you for this one.
I really like this paddle. So it definitely starts out stiff, like it feels stiff, and then it does loosen up a bit, but it kind of plays more like a Yola, like 14 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels, I don't know if stiff is the right word, but more pop than power. I've been using it for singles, and I really, really like it. It hits hard. It's kind of not like the Peacock, not top end of power, but it falls nicely like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Good grit. The spin it's kind of weird. I feel like I haven't gotten crazy dip on the ball.
Okay.
So definitely need to do some more play testing because the grit feels really good, but I feel like I'm hitting a lot of balls out.
Interesting.
So like I'm hitting it right beyond the baseline.
So you have more power than spin.
And it's almost like it's just not getting that last bit of dip to stay in. But it comes in pretty light. We haven't put it on the
graffiti,
but
I haven't seen this paddle really until today.
But it feels light. I put some 3-gram strips on the bottom and then just a little bit on the sides, but it feels pretty light. It hits really well, and it's got good power, and I really like it overall. It definitely feels stable. Great sweet spot.
Yeah, this is definitely one I'm going to be excited to start play testing with. I know a couple people got their hands on this early, but I'm intrigued by is this all black on the design too? Or is it a little bit of gradient color?
So they have like 8 different colors, I think.
Oh, really?
So they have a bunch of different, like this one's green and the edge guard. So that it gets towards the top. There's green on the edge guard.
You got it covered up.
Yeah, I got tape on it.
Yeah.
But then they also have a pink one. They have a red one. They got a bunch of different colors.
Purple.
They do have a purple one.
Ooh,
I know.
I'm sold.
Yep.
Teasing, of course. But yeah, if you have a purple one, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And then, like I said, it's called, I don't remember what the foam one's called, but they are going to be releasing another one that same thing, like the Peacock and Flamingo. Same thing. This one's Gen 3. That one will be all foam.
Gotcha. Cool. Be excited to look out for that. I'm be thrilled to finally be able to play with this.
I'm sure that
I've been waiting for forever to hit this battle.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it more once you've also gotten some full thoughts.
Quick question for you. As you put that away for singles, because I know it's what you say you've been primarily playing, Sypik or the Era?
That's tough. I would say probably the Sypik. I don't know though. I've been using those are actually pretty much for the past week and a half that those are actually the only two paddles I've been using.
I kind of had assumed so.
Yeah,
I didn't know this for sure, but I figured those were your top two, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah, so I mean those right now have been the two paddles that I've used almost exclusively. I've been loving the Era in doubles. The few games of doubles I've gotten to play. Probably Sypik because I feel like I can maneuver it better, if that makes sense. I feel like the Era is a little clunky.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I really love that shape, but I like it more for doubles than singles.
So Sypik for singles.
Sypik for singles and Era for doubles, probably.
That's fair. And then next is a paddle that we don't have. I wasn't able to attend the event because I was in Austin doing my other interview and real job.
Yep.
But Selkirk finally has announced that the Boomstik is a thing.
It's real. We
don't even have the paddle and we're under NDA. So there's not too much we can say, but I wanted to make sure we announced it. It's a real thing. Based off of images we've seen, seems like there might be some stuff you can move on the side.
Yeah.
I'd assume it's a power paddle.
Yeah.
I know Brian from Building Pickleball did a side-by-side between the Era and the Boomstik. So if you want to check that out, go over to his channel. Yeah. I think it's a short, but that's one I know
he posted a few shorts on it. So it shows the paddle, comes in the briefcase like the 007. And yeah, he showed, like you said, he showed the side-by-sides. Looked like the ball was moving faster with the Boomstik than the Era. So
not only that too, it really does seem like they are honing in on those two shapes.
Yeah.
We didn't see the other shape, but I'm just assuming because we're getting that same Era shape with the long handle and the rounded top, very similar to the Huarache from 11.624.
It might be my favorite shape.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is because I usually hate the rounded top. Like the Hyperion is not my favorite, but it just has the rounded top and it has the 6-inch handle. And it's been really hard using the Era and then going back to like the Flamingo or the Flick paddle.
And you are the exact reason why I have to make sure I clarify that in my reviews, because there are people that you get so accustomed to that longer handle, especially your two-handed drive is something you really rely on.
Yeah.
So it's very important to you. I've been utilizing a 2E more, but I can still adjust pretty easily.
Yeah. And I can adjust. It's just I'm fine because I usually put the finger up.
Yeah.
I still usually do, even with the Era. But I don't know. It's once you've used it and then like the flicks, it's just like, and I know you really like the 6-inch handle for that, like where your roll.
I mean, that's one of the big things of why I like the Smoke so much, because it's a 5.6-inch handle where the usable space is probably close to like 5.7.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that sweet spot of where you don't sacrifice too much on the face. It's still able to be wide enough, but you get that longer handle and it's a nice right in between.
But I feel like the Era feels huge to me.
Interesting.
It feels like I'm not losing anything on the face and I still have the 6-inch handle. I think that's why I like it. Because there's other paddles like the Huarache where I feel like I'm giving up paddle face.
That's interesting because I'm pretty sure those are very similar in shape, though.
They are, but
like in terms of dimension-wise. Well,
I feel like there's just enough.
We can double check. I'm pretty sure they're almost identical, though.
I don't know. They feel different to me, but we'll see.
Another paddle to go in on that, because I wanted to follow up with this, but we can announce this as well because we were sent an image and I've seen a couple other people post it, so I'm assuming it's fine. The J2NF has just come out, and Jam over at Honolulu is already going to be coming out with the J3 shape, the J7 shape, and then an adjusted J2 shape that will have a longer 5.5 inch handle, but it will still have, I believe, a 6.8 or 6.9 swing weight.
Twist weight.
Yes, twist weight. Sorry. So because that was the big thing when I was texting him back and forth of the change in shape and the longer handle is one reason why they've had so much success is having that, very low taper of having that extra face, very similar to like the Magnus on an elongated, why or even the Series 3 Protons. That's why that twist weight is higher, is because of the way it tapers at the bottom. So if you remove that, I was like, the twist weight's going to fall, and that's like the biggest selling point of this paddle. But looking at the image, I don't know this for sure. It looks more almost like a standard shape paddle. It's still, I think, the length of a hybrid, but just the shape of the face looks more standard shape-ish. Yeah. And so I'm assuming that's why the twist weight is still so great. But again, another great option for those people that are even like you, that, you want that TUI in there. Yeah. I'm just excited for the J7.
Yeah, me too.
So excited for that, especially because if you're liking the rounded top more now, I'll be very intrigued to see the J7 NF versus the Era for you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited. You sent me that photo and I was like, that's going to be... We've been talking about that because we talked about it with we were like, is the J7 Plus going to come? Is this going to come?
No. The J7 Ti Plus. That's J7 what we wanted.
Ti Plus, yeah. But the J7 NF and the J7
Ti.
NFT.
Or NFT, sorry.
Will
both
be
coming.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If those both come, that'll be really awesome.
And then the biggest shock on my end is I'm looking forward to the J3 shape.
Really?
I liked the J3 Ti a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of the only wide bodies that I'm like, I really like the way this plays, and it's because of the handle.
Yeah, it is a good wide body shape.
The handle's long, and then it's short. It's very similar to what they're doing to the J2 shape. It's just more of a squish and wider face, but with that long handle. And it felt more natural to me.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that Volair Mach 2 shape. That's the only other wide body I can really compare it to. Because that's another one where I didn't love the performance as much when I really started using that paddle. When it first came out and I hit it, I liked it also, but then I put it to the side and then I came back to it a lot later. But I like that playability of that shape for me. I don't mind, but just the performance wasn't quite there at that time. But then the J3 Ti came out and I was like, okay, this feels great. Again, not enough power though, but I love my time with it. So that's why I'm really excited to get something that's a little bit more towards on that power side, but in a shape that I like, because I don't give the wide body nearly as much love, just because typically I'm like, I just don't play as well with it. This is one thing that's also intriguing, because Jack Monroe uses a wide body. Mm-hmm. And I know he's been asked about this, but one of the main reasons he brought up for speed ups is he likes the top of the paddle to be a dead spot, because he speeds up hitting the top of the paddle, which changes the speed, and it's also easier to keep in. Then he can swing more aggressively. And he likes that sweet spot being lower, and he'll actually intentionally lower it with weight if he does add anything. Versus for us, or at least me specifically, I like that sweet spot as high as possible. I like hitting the ball on the top, and I like having the jump off the top, especially for like my drives.
Yeah.
So that's kind of always been the issue for me with wide bodies. The only other one where I've had success with is like the Hyper Shape from Gearbox. Yeah. Because those have a pretty high balance point, and they play more like an elongated for a wide body shape. Yeah. But again, just so many paddles coming out. But yeah, Boomstik and then these new NF shapes, like just awesome to see. But we do have, I think, 2 more to talk about.
Speaking of that Hyper Shape, I don't have it with me right now, but we do have a new paddle from Gearbox.
We got GX2 Power.
GX2 Power. So we just had the GX2 come out, it was a month and a half, 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But same thing, but with more power. And a lot of people's gripes on the GX2, which a lot of people loved. I really like that paddle. I know you really...
I played really well with it. Mm-hmm. I fell into that boat as well, but I overlooked it because I was like, oh, this is a paddle I can just pick up and play with.
Yeah. But a lot of people's gripe was it was very muted. And when I say that, there was no feeling. You could not feel the ball hitting the paddle at all. And
I'm glad you're clarifying that, because I have gotten several comments that misinterpret when people are saying muted. Yeah, it's the feedback of the paddle, the feel of the paddle, just being able to tell where you're hitting it on the face and so on. But yeah.
And I know people have been saying that that the sound is fine and whatever, but also it was very quiet.
It was, yeah.
It was like that's not what people are saying when they say muted, but it was a very quiet paddle.
Yes, it was.
And this provides more power, more feel, and a bigger sound for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one that we had been waiting on. They were just waiting to send out their second shipment. So we finally got these in. Haven't played too extensively with them, but we did get to play a couple games. And yeah, just the initial play testing with these, I see what some of the hype is about, and I'm going to be very, very intrigued to put more hours on these, especially because we're seeing Gearbox commit to another edge guard, something that they were very against for the longest time. Rafa, like, they have the edge guard, they're doubling down. They still have their unique, SST core in there. So just they keep fine tuning things. Like, every paddle really is very similar to the previous, and they just keep changing small things. And I'm like, I love that kind of, because it's like we keep perfecting the formula. Might take a couple missteps occasionally. Like, I think the replacement for the Pro Power, not the Ultimate, but the new Power paddle. I think that one obviously came in too heavy.
Yeah.
That was something we overcorrected, and I'm sure part of that was also making sure it passed PB core. But yeah, this is one I think is going to be available to a wider market, because I think people we love the look of edgeless paddles, but we know the performance just isn't quite there. And also, I think the durability with this will be slightly better than some of the other paddles, even with edge guards, because Gearbox just seems to find a way to typically find things that last. And their warranties are usually pretty generous as well. But yeah, another power paddle, shocking. But this is one that, yeah, I'm definitely excited to continue playtesting, and I will drop a review on this eventually.
Perfect.
And then the last paddle is something that I did post to my Instagram, but that is the new Chorus Phoenix.
Yeah, you're going to have to take the lead on this one. I haven't really gotten to play with this one at all. So
I played about 5 games of doubles and one game of singles with this. And my first thought was, you can definitely tell that this is a successor to the now delisted Chorus Fire. And it is very stiff. And I don't know how I feel about it. The performance I like, but it's a very, very stiff paddle. It definitely doesn't have that crazy illegal deflection that we saw with the original Chorus Fire.
Yeah.
But everything else feels kind of right at home with what I remember from that paddle. I have not put weight on this. It comes in super light. We can run through the specs in a second, but it's definitely a power paddle. The thing slaps. I got pretty good movement on the ball. I felt like I could control it, but it was just that classic of, when you're a little late on maybe a backhand tui on a return and you just sail it out, or the ball bounces in, you're a little late to getting there and you're trying to just deflect it. The thing just soars out. So it's got a lot, and it's one of those, again, if you like stiffer feeling paddles and you can contain that kind of more poppy paddle, you're going to love this.
Yeah, I loved the Fire.
Yeah, we both loved the Fire, especially with how we had that thing weighted. The problem was, with the way we had that thing weighted, it really debuted the problem with, we're like, I don't think this paddle should be legal. And then we were right. It got delisted. Yeah. This will come in other shapes. So I did get sent the EX. I'm assuming Matt just knows I love elongated. So thank you for sending this over. We did also, I believe, get the HX, and then it'll also come in, I think, the SX. Yeah. So their standard shape and their hybrid shape. But yeah, this is one I'm really excited for you to play with. Yeah. Especially because I know how much you loved the original Fire. But yeah, do you want to run through the specs on this real quick?
Yeah, so as we said, swing weight on this does come in pretty low. It comes in at about 113, and then twist weight is about 5.87.
Yeah, and just like last time, I think Chorus is, doing lighter paddles, give you that ability to customize it. Both of these paddles also came with a new, very thin, very similar to the Selkirk tungsten. Oh yeah, those thin strips. They came with a long spool of that. Nice, because I know they had some silicone 3 grams weight. Yeah. But they were really chunky. They were. This is a lot more fine. I'm assuming it sounded like that's going to be provided with each paddle, very similar to Thrive. I know they include always weights and, like, I think a carbon eraser there. It's just nice when those, the brands throw in a little extra goodies when you're, buying a new paddle, especially in this case, a paddle that you should customize.
For sure. Yeah. And then we got one more paddle. So last one, you've gotten to use this a little bit. You used it at the tournament. back in Florida, but the Wild Thang is out, I think.
Is it out for pre-order or is it out?
I think it might be out.
It might be. We have had this for a minute.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm wrong on that, but I just got mine, but you got it back in Florida in, was that May?
Yeah,
End of May?
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of the new take on the Shogun carbon fiber instead of titanium, and then fiberglass. So kind of Invader meets Shogun.
Yeah, I know I think might have introduced this a little bit, obviously when we were reflecting back on my performance and attending the nerdy tourney, but this was definitely a fun paddle. If you are wanting a power paddle from Bread and Butter, you're a big fan of their marketing or just the brand in general, like supporting them, this is definitely the paddle to get. It hits harder than the Invader, in my opinion, and that's not just coming down to shape. I know the layup's very similar, but just there's something about it, the sweet spot, it just comes off harder. And the big thing with that might be the titanium versus the carbon fiber in terms of the face layup. Maybe that's just plushness, but the fiberglass in this, it's still plush, but it gives it that little bit extra that the Shogun was missing. Yeah. It does need weight on the sides. I put a good amount. I think I have 3.5 grams on each side. So the twist weight and the sweet spot, it is very similar to kind of some of the things I felt with the original Flamingo. Even though the twist weight was there, just having a little bit more stability of when I'm blocking shots, it went a long way. And then also that just adds to the springiness. But overall, this is my favorite elongated from Bread and Butter. They also do have another paddle that'll be coming out, which I think they got debuted there, which is another wide body. But in terms of elongated, this is the best way to go. And I do think, unlike the Filth, at least for now, this is the only shape this will be coming in.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Bread and Butter, they always hit it with the marketing and then the graphics. They got a lot of that like AI Sasquatch videos.
That's right.
They've been releasing a ton of videos like that with this paddle. So I know Doug's really excited about this paddle.
They always have a good time, like with the Invader sending it to space. That was crazy. Oh, and then the last thing I wanted to mention on this also is 16 millimeters still. So just like I said, same as the Shogun, quite literally. I would love a 14 millimeter. I know they're experimenting. That might be the other paddle. That's a different shape that'll be coming out. But yeah, Wild Thang, the next in Bread Butter's lineup. And oh man, I'm glad this exists, because going into that nerdy tourney, I was like, I need something with a little bit more power.
Yep.
And then they gave us this the first day. I'm like, oh, beautiful. Because I was actually going to use the...
Didn't do much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't a 5.0 for Kyle, and he wasn't a 5.0 for me.
Should have been.
But yeah, anyways, our performance with this does not reflect the performance that you can get with this. But yeah. And then I guess the last thing, just announcement-wise, I know we talked, or I guess I talked about it because our video got cut short, but Forwrd's newest bag, the Ranger, finally has shipped.
Yep.
People are getting their order confirmations with tracking, and man, that thing has been delayed for a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for that bag.
Did you get the white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the white as well.
New work bag.
That's why I just got back from Austin. I used the Court Caddy again, because it's that perfect. Again, I could put my laptop in there. I put one paddle in there. It fits a bunch in the front that I can just throw all my power cables. And then I have my carry-on, like suitcase. But literally on this trip, because I did bring that into the office, and no one said anything, because it does look like a nice bag. But I'm like, it does look a little more pickle bag-y versus the Ranger. It's like, this is a pickleball bag that looks more like a backpack.
Did you see how much stuff they fit?
It's the same size as the Court Caddy.
I think he fit
bigger.
way more.
I think
because he put 4. I was looking at it today because I was showing one of my coworkers. I was like, look at this bag I'm getting. He put 4 paddles. He put his shoes in it. He put like 3 towels, a water bottle, ton of stuff. I can't fit my shoes in the Court Caddy.
So this is something that's been interesting that I've been trying to experiment with, because on my trip, actually, I put 1 shoe in on the way back. Because I had to fit all my camera equipment. Yeah. That's the issue. So I had to get a little creative. But I've always thought about this, because that front section, and yours is adjustable, and you can take out slots. I cannot in mine. But I'm like, I bet you I could do a laptop, 1 paddle, and then shoes pretty easily. And I'm like, for an everyday person like traveling, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yours taking out 2 sleeves, I'm like, you definitely could probably have a little more room taking out that, accordion style. This, I'm gonna be intrigued because I wonder if do we know if it's modular with the sleeves?
I don't know.
I wonder, I'd assume it would be, because I think because it was improved upon the Court Caddy, I think you would keep that. Regardless though.
But still, he fit 4 paddles and shoes.
That's what's crazy.
So it's like,
that's what's crazy.
I mean, you could put your laptop, 2 paddles, shoes, and still have room for other things.
Yeah. Because I think my Court Caddy, I could comfortably do 3 paddles and shoes. If I put everything in the back, I think I could.
Probably.
But
probably
4 paddles, I feel like that's going to be stretching it, because I've done.
It could have been at the front sleeve. There could have been one in the front sleeve, maybe.
Regardless, though.
Yeah.
People, I think, were thinking this was going to be smaller. And then he posted.
Well, it looks smaller.
He posted the side-by-side the other day in the Discord. And we were like, oh, it's really the same size. Yeah. And it might be a little bit more usable in the space. And the thing I just love most about this bag, though, just because I'm always throwing my bag outside, obviously if we're on the court and even in the office, for me, of having that padded bottom, is going to be huge. Like that is literally my favorite feature of the Court Caddy, outside of it just looking nice.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to get my hands on this. And also it's nice because even though it's still expensive, I think $199 before any discount codes or any sales, I'm sure he'll run some stuff on accessories. Like that's expensive, but it's still going to be higher quality than most every other bag on the market. And if you're looking for something like you mentioned, that's hybrid, work bag and pickable, but coming in at the $199 price point, I think that's just going to be a lot more inviting to more people, because $299 is very steep. I know a lot of people in the pickleball, a lot of people are retired or, in business, a lot of people have money, but it's not everybody. And that's one of the big things that's great about this game is, everyone can play it. And asking people to spend $299 on a bag, it's like, that's not reasonable for most people. I think $199 is still crazy, but $100 less for a nice quality bag that you can use at work and pickleball might be a little bit easier to justify. So I'm happy that it's coming in where it's at. And again, that's before any discounts or, sales that he might run. So I'll be intrigued around like the holidays to see if he has any really, really nice sales on that.
Yeah, he's always running some cool sales. So
he takes care of his customers, whether it's with accessories or like on that. And he gets pretty creative. He's Forwrd, which formerly Kitchen, if you haven't caught up on the name change. I love that there's brands like that this pickleball space has grown large enough that we have a high-end bag just for pickleball.
Yeah.
That is successful.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like I love seeing that pickleball is branching out with more brands and, enabling more people to have their own business. I think that's so cool. But I know we're both really excited to get our hands on this bag. Yeah. And I'd mentioned this in the last episode. I just want to highlight it again because I do like that bag. A bag that originally started at $199 that is much smaller, which is the sling bag. I think that's still on sale for $80. So if you want the highest end materials that the Court Caddy has on a smaller bag that fits like 3 paddles, it's a nice $80 bag. Yeah. It's a hard sell at $199, which is why it's at $80 now. But if you can pick that thing up for $80 and you like a sling bag, it's a great option.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up all our talking points today. Like we said, next episode will be episode 20. So I think we're going to do another giveaway. And
yeah, we're going to have something for that.
Have something for episode 20. But that's it for today.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.